face, you weirdo.
Hello, peoples.
This video for my
Don't
viewers.
do the British accent.
I didn't do the British accent.
You're trying to. You seem dumb.
I was trying to do like the like little kids show, like educational TV thing. We're gonna talk about the Winchester Mansion.
I don't even know what that is. This will be interesting.
How do you not know the Winchester Mansion?
Oh, I've never heard of it.
I've always wanted to go to this. I've been to California, but I didn't get to go to this. And I wanted to go to Alcatraz, but I guess you have to book it like a year in advance to go to that Alcatraz. It was awful. San Francisco is beautiful. Alright. Sarah Lockwood Winchester. She was born in 1839 and died September 7th, 1922. Was an American heiress who amassed great wealth after the death of her husband, William Wirt Winchester.
Amassed. It's amassed great wealth, not amazed.
Amassed great wealth.
She was born the daughter of Leonard Pardee and his wife Sarah W. née Burns in summer of 1839 in New Haven, Connecticut.
On September 30th, 1862, in New Haven, Sarah married William Wirt Winchester, the only son of Oliver Winchester, the owner of the Winchester Repeating Army Company. The Winchester Rifles.
Ooh. William Wirt Winchester, June 22nd, 1837 to March 7th, 1881, was the treasurer of the Winchester Repeating Arms Company, a position he held until his death in 1881. My phone's dying.
He was born on June 22nd, 1837, to Oliver Fisher Winchester and Jane Ellen Hope in Baltimore, Maryland. His siblings include Anne Rebecca Winchester, 1835 to 1864, who married Charles B. Dye, and Hannah Jane Winchester, who married Thomas Gray Bennett.
Really? The couple was married in 1862 and had one daughter, Annie Pardee Winchester, who was born on June 15th, 1866 and died 6 weeks later on July 25th, 1866 of marasmus. The couple had no more children. Weird. Marasmus. I don't know what that is. I've never heard of that.
Her father-in-law died in 1880, and her husband, William, died of tuberculosis in March 1881. William died in New Haven, Connecticut. Thus, she received an inheritance of $20 million, equivalent to $519,241,379 in 2018 money. In addition, Winchester received approximately 50% ownership of the Winchester Company and an income of $1,000 a day, equivalent to $25,962 a day in 2018.
God bless it all. That's a lot of money.
God damn, I want that money. I should have married a Winchester.
He was buried in Evergreen Cemetery in New Haven. Such a big part for me to read.
He was in 1888. Winchester purchased 140 acres of land, the majority of what is now downtown Los Altos, California, to use as a ranch. She also purchased a farmhouse, now known as the Winchester Merriam House, for her sister and brother-in-law. The house is listed on the Historic Resources Inventory of the Los Altos Historical Commission.
In the 1920s, Mrs. Winchester also maintained a houseboat on San Francisco Bay at Burlingame, California, which became known as Sarah's Ark, and it was reputedly kept there as insurance against her fear of a second great flood, such as the biblical one experienced by Noah and his family. But a more mundane answer is that many people of her social standing in California at that time had houseboats or yachts.
Never even been on a boat.
What?
I said never even been on a boat.
Ever?
Never. The Ark was located near the eucalyptus grove at the Winchester Road, south of what was to become intersection at Enza Boulevard and U.S. Highway 101. The Ark was destroyed by fire in 1929.
My phone needs to be plugged in. You can turn the screen off too, that way it'll charge faster. And hand me the vape while you're at it. Yeah.
Cheese and rice.
Thank y'all.
Read your part.
I'm going to. The Winchester Mystery House is a mansion in San Jose, California that was once the personal residence of Sarah Winchester, the widow of firearm magnate William Wirt Winchester. Located at 525 South Winchester Boulevard in San Jose, the Queen Anne-style Victorian mansion is renowned for its size, its architectural curiosities, and its lack of any master building plan. It is a designated California historical landmark and is listed on the National Register of Historic Places. It is privately owned and serves as a tourist attraction. Is this the one where she built rooms that go to nowhere?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Okay. After her husband's death from tuberculosis in 1881, Sarah Winchester inherited. Well, I just read that. She also received nearly. Okay. This inheritance gave her a tremendous amount of wealth, which she used to fund the ongoing construction. I hate when I do that.
Tabloids from the time said that at some point after her infant daughter died of an illness known as marasmus, a children's disease in which the body wastes away, and her husband died of pulmonary tuberculosis, a Boston medium told her, while supposedly channeling her late husband, that she should leave her home in New Haven and travel west, where she must continuously build a home for herself and the spirits of people who had fallen victim to Winchester's rifles. Okay. Sure thing.
Winchester left New Haven and headed for California, though it is possible she was simply seeking a change of location and a hobby during her lengthy depression. Other sources say that Winchester came to believe her family and fortune was inhabited by ghosts, and that only by moving west and continuously building them a house could she appease these spirits.
Okay. In 1884, she purchased an unfinished farmhouse in the Santa Clara Valley and began building her mansion. Carpenters were hired and worked on the house day and night until it became a 7-story mansion. What does he want?
Yes, homie, he made it 2,000 subscribers.
Oh.
She did not use an architect and added on to the building in a haphazard fashion so the home contained numerous oddities such as doors and stairs that go nowhere, windows overlooking other rooms, and stairs with odd-sized risers. Many accounts attribute these oddities to her belief in ghosts. Let's to get them confused.
Environmental psychologists have theorized that the odd layout itself contributes to the feeling of the house being haunted today. I heard that it was to confuse the ghosts so they couldn't find her.
Mm-hmm. She's sleeping in different rooms and stuff.
I'm just saying, they get lost on the stairs and the doors that lead to nowhere, and then they can't find her.
That's what her idea was, anyway. Before the 1906 earthquake, the house had been 7 stories high, and carpenters may have been brought in initially to repair damages caused by the quake.
Oh, Hermione's there.
Poor baby.
Well, I didn't know what was between us. Nothing should ever come between us. Today it is only 4 stories. The house is predominantly made of redwood, as Mrs. Winchester preferred the wood. However, she disliked the look of it. She therefore demanded that a faux grain and stain be applied. This is why almost all the wood in the home is covered. Approximately 20,500 U.S. gallons of paint were required to paint the house. God, that is a lot of money worth of paint, peeps. A lot.
The home itself is built using a floating foundation that is believed to have saved it from a total collapse in the 1906 earthquake and the 1989 Lorna Prieta earthquake. This type of construction allows the home to shift freely as it is not completely attached to its brick base.
That actually sounds kind of interesting.
Pretty smart.
Yeah. There are roughly 161 rooms, including 40 bedrooms, 2 ballrooms, 1 completed and 1 unfinished, as well as 47 fireplaces. Holy crap, who needs so many fireplaces? Over 10,000 panes of glass, 17 chimneys with evidence of 2 others, 2 basements, and 3 elevators. Winchester's property was about 162 acres at one time, but the estate has since been reduced to 4.5 acres, the minimum necessary to contain the house and nearby outbuildings. That is freaking crazy. That's a lot of space.
It has gold and silver chandeliers, hand-inlaid paraquet floors and trim, and a vast array of colors and materials. Due to Miss Winchester's debilitating arthritis, special easy riser stairways were installed in a replacement for her original steep construction. This allowed her to move about her home freely, as she was only able to raise each foot a few inches. So that's like the chair escalator things.
You sit in it, it takes you up the stairs.
If you've seen creepy horror movies.
There was only 1 working toilet for Winchester, but all other restrooms were decoys to confuse spirits. This is also the reason why she slept in a different room each night. Only 1 working toilet? In that gigantic fucking mansion, there was 1 working toilet.
She was the only one that lived in there, basically.
Really? She didn't have anybody else living there? Oh. Can you imagine being on the bottom floor and you have to go all the way to the 4th floor to use the bathroom?
The home's conveniences were rare at the time of its construction. These included steam and forced air heating, modern indoor toilets, and plumbing. A toilet? I don't know why it says toilets. Push-button gas lights, and Miss Winchester's personal and only hot shower from indoor plumbing.
I'm sorry, can you just imagine? You're on the bottom left of the house, right? And the bathroom is way up here on the top right. And you've got to maneuver all these different fucking staircases to get to the bathroom. And you're like,
it's probably on the main floor.
I shit myself before I even made it to the 4th floor.
It's probably on the main floor, though.
Okay, but imagine being on the 4th floor and it's on the bottom floor. You're like, I can't you could have a slide that goes from the top all the way to the bottom just so you can make it there before you shit yourself.
I bet she had maids, but imagine cleaning all 7 floors.
4. It's like
now.
the 4th floor now, but
Yeah,
I'm
but
just
7.
saying, that's just crazy. 1 working toilet in a big ass house like that. I would shit myself before I even made it to the other side of the house. That's awful. I mean, this place is huge. Even just being on one side of the floor, and it's over there on that side of the 1st floor, you would make it halfway, and I messed myself again. Clean that up, would you? I gotta go to the bathroom. It just doesn't make sense to me. Oh, I'm sorry. There are also 3 elevators, including an Otis Electric, and one of which was powered by a rare horizontal hydraulic elevator piston. Most elevator pistons are vertical to save space, but Winchester preferred the improved functionality of the horizontal configuration. I don't know what the difference is exactly. I would think vertical means that there's a cable. I don't know what horizontal means.
I'll have to get some pictures.
That's a good one. Yes. Right here. Put the picture right here. One right here by you, and one right here by me.
Miss Winchester never skimped on the many adornments that she believed contributed to its architectural beauty. Many of the stained glass windows were created by the Pacific American Decorative Company. Some were designed specifically for her, and others by her, including a spiderweb window that featured her favorite web design and a repetition of the number 13, another of her preoccupations. So she loved the number 13. That's kind of
so do I. Yeah.
She says it must be bad luck.
It's my lucky number.
But you guys can look at our superstitions video.
It's my lucky number. This window was never installed, but exists in the so-called $25,000 storage room, so named because its contents were originally appraised at a value of $25,000. The value today is inestimable. I didn't know that was a word. But $25,000 would be equivalent to $374,000 in 2018. God, I want that window just so I can sell it, so I can raise all the foster children that we want to adopt.
A second window was designed by Tiffany himself. Tiffany as a Tiffany glass.
Yeah.
So that when sunlight strikes the prismatic crystals, a rainbow is cast across the room. The window is installed in an interior wall in a room with no light exposure, preventing the effect from being seen. Why?
That makes no sense whatsoever.
She was crazy.
Obviously.
She was obviously very crazy.
She probably had some form of schizophrenia, multiple personality disorders, you know, all those fun ones.
Psychosis.
When Winchester died, all of her possessions, apart from the house, were bequeathed to her niece and personal secretary. Her niece then took everything she wanted and sold the rest in a private auction. That's what I would do. If you don't need it, just sell it.
Especially with as much as that stuff was worth.
Yeah.
It supposedly took 6 trucks working 8 hours a day for 6 weeks to remove all of the furniture from the home. An account disputed by Winchester's biographer, Miss Winchester made no mention of the mansion in her will, and appraisers considered the house worthless due to damage caused by the earthquake, the furnished design, and the impractical nature of its construction.
Yeah, I heard that like sections of roof were just not there. Rooms just completely unfinished. Bare floors.
Literally, when she died, the construction stopped. Literally. The nurse was like, she's dead. They all went, okay.
Although there are some accounts that it continues to grow anyway.
Dun, dun, dun.
But nobody's building it. It just keeps moving and growing. It was sold at auction to a local investor for over $135,000 and subsequently leased for 10 years to John and Mamie Brown, who eventually purchased the house. Dun, dun, dun.
In February 1923, 5 months after Winchester's death, the house was opened to the public with Mamie Brown serving as the first tour guide.
I bet they made a shit ton of money off that place, though. Today, the home is owned by Winchester Investments, LLC, a privately held company representing the descendants of John and Mamie Brown. Oh, my back.
The home retains unique touches that reflect Miss Winchester's beliefs and her reported preoccupation with warding off malevolent spirits. These spirits are said to have directly inspired her as to the way the house should be built. The number 13 and spiderweb motifs, which carried spiritual significance for her, occur throughout the house.
In 2016, it was announced that another room with period furniture was built in the courtyard, an attic space that contains a pump organ, Victorian couch, dress form, sewing machine, and paintings. This room was made available for viewing by the public and features a shooting range game. So like an arcade game. That's dumb.
Probably because of the Winchester guns and stuff.
Right, okay, now I understand.
In 2017, the Winchester Mystery House debuted their first new daytime tour in 20 years, the Explore More Tour. This tour takes guests to rooms never before opened to the public and explores the rooms left unfurnished at the time of Sarah Winchester's death.
Mm.
And of course, there are some ghost stories.
Of course.
I read that part because it's very short. Now you have the digest.
Really? How dare you steal away my shit? The case of the ghostly handyman. Some of Sarah Winchester's local workmen and house servants may still be looking after the place, according to the sightings of figures or the feeling of a presence. reported many times over the years by tour guides and visitors alike. One frequent apparition is a man with jet black hair believed to have been a former handyman. He's been seen repairing the fireplace in the ballroom or pushing an equally spectral wheelbarrow, if wheelbarrows indeed linger in the beyond, down a long, dark hallway. I heard that during the construction, a lot of people died while they were building that place. A lot
I
of
think
people.
they didn't have as many safety regulations and stuff.
Like a couple hundred at least, I think.
Alright, The Secret of the Invisible Hand. Several years ago, a man working on one of the many restoration projects in the mansion started this day early in a section with several fireplaces, known as the Hall of Fires. The house was dead quiet before tours got underway, and he was working up on a ladder when he felt someone tap him on the back. He turned to ask what the person wanted. No one was there. Reassuring himself he'd just been imagining the sensation, he went back to his work, only to experience what felt like someone pushing against his back. That was enough. He hurried down the ladder, across the estate, and started on another project, figuring that someone or something didn't want him working in the Hall of Fires today.
Creepy.
Imagine that'd be so great.
Creepy. I'm at the top.
Mm-hmm.
Sign of the Heavy Sigh. A tour guide named Samantha recently led visitors to the Daisy bedroom, where Sarah Winchester was trapped during the 1906 quake. Samantha was about to begin her spiel when a very clear sigh came from the small hallway outside the bedroom door. Thinking one of her guests had merely fallen behind, Samantha turned to call the person into the room but saw no one. Then, as her eyes adjusted to the darkened hallway, she did see something. The form of a small, dark person slowly emerged, gliding around a corner. Samantha quickly stepped around the corner and again saw nothing but heard yet another deep sigh. She felt sure it was the tiny form of Sarah Winchester herself, perhaps peeved to find people in her favorite bedroom. Creepy.
William Wirt Winchester Hospital in West Haven, Connecticut was established in his honor by his wife for the treatment of tuberculosis. The hospital was later sold and became a Veterans Administration hospital. The private pavilion at Yale New Haven Hospital was then renamed in his honor.
Interesting. The Santa Clara Los Gatos, that's cat, by the way, Boulevard, in front of the house was later named Winchester Boulevard after the house. Today the house is open to the public every day except Christmas Day. Tours are conducted of both the house and the grounds on those days. I'm going to guess it costs money, though.
Probably. I'll look it up and put the prices up. Okay.
That's it.
Like, subscribe, and share. Have you ever been to the mansion? I want to go so bad.
Oh my god.
If you guys have
I
ever
have
been
wanted to go to that place since I heard about it.
If you guys have any ghost stories or something, share.
Ghost stories.
Anyways, like and subscribe, share.
Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Bye.